welcome to the world of NekoDecoPop. I'm Nat, and today we're going to be breaking down the biggest wins and letdowns of the winter 2024 anime season. We kicked off 2024 in absolute style with some of the most hyped series, including Solo Leveling, as well as continuing on with groundbreaking series like Frieren. There were a lot of surprises for me, and not all of them were good ones. In fact, a few nearly got me booed off the internet for speaking up about them. But we'll get into that later. Make sure to stick around till the end, where I will be announcing the NekoDecoPop Awards for Best Series, Music, Letdowns, and many more. So with that being said, let's get into it. Frieren is the best fantasy anime I have ever seen. And although it started in the fall, it finished a few weeks ago, so we're counting it in the winter category. It's so good that it literally brought me back to the genre. For background, I'm a fantasy girly. Was raised on Lord of the Rings, absolutely lived for all of that stuff. But when I got back into anime, I watched literally one bad isekai and it made me go, oh, we are done with this. So I have made it a point to avoid this genre with a 10-foot pole, with very few exceptions. So when my brother put on the first episode, I groaned and begrudgingly watched it. And then the second episode, and then the third, I literally could not stop myself. It is such a good show, like such a ridiculously good show, especially for the Lord of the Rings girlies. Taking place decades after the party beats the big bad, we are now in an era of peace as we follow the only surviving party member, who is an elf and has outlived all of her fellow adventurers. In this day and age where peace reigns, we get to focus on the small and little day-to-day events of the adventurer. Helping with smaller tasks, searching for random spells, spending years translating text for a friend. And, begrudgingly growing closer and creating a newfound family. Now, if this was any other series, this would be boring as hell. But Frieren, like with Tolkien, captures the beauty of the little moments and recognizing the everyday magic. And then when action does end up happening, holy Jesus be prepared. Those arcs are literally painful to pause. We watched like 5+ episodes in a row voraciously, and then when we did finally catch up and we had to watch week to week, that shit physically hurt me. The whole final episode, I kept holding my breath at the end of every scene, hoping and praying that it would continue, and then when it did finally end, I cried. This is such a perfect, wonderful, hilarious, adorable, and heartbreaking show. And according to my brother who's read the manga, it hasn't even hit its stride. So yeah, I'm already going through heavy withdrawal while we wait for the next season, and I am going to legitimately miss it the whole time it's away. Now, I am very, very conservative when it hands out this rating, but Frieren absolutely earned it. 10 out of 10. And now for the anime of the season, and possible anime of the year. Or at least so I thought. So, the first 2 episodes of Solo Leveling gave me chills down to my soul. The sheer brutality and unforgiving world building had me beyond sold. And then the rest of the anime happened. And, what in the actual fuck? Like, talk about one of the biggest letdowns I have ever seen. I kept trying to ignore the chatter talking about how mid this show was, but the longer it went on, the more mid it got. Like, there's not really character development, it's just Jinwoo scared and defeated, then Jinwoo becomes invincible, like invincible from everything over the top plot armor, and then Jinwoo is finally challenged, but you guessed it, he still comes out on top. And I also noticed that every single episode ends in a cliffhanger. Like, really? Every single one? But at the end of the day, it's night, and I don't like this genre of anime. I just don't. So, even if it did turn around, I was pretty checked out by the end. Now, I was so excited about this anime, especially since we are getting more manhwas adapted, and we love to see other countries' animes grow in prominence. So, tell me why this South Korean anime did not have a Korean dub that was available in the West? Yes, it's a Japanese company that produced it, but I know for a fact that there is a Korean dub, so why wasn't it available? Definitely makes you side-eye what possible prejudice may or may not be in play, and I'm not saying that this is one of those times. I'm just saying that it's sketchy that Crunchyroll does not have the Korean dub of a Korean show, even though it's available. This is one of those shows I'm hesitant to even talk about after trying to talk about it online and getting yelled at by a bunch of random men about how I don't get it and how I have no taste. It really just reminded me how much work there is to do in the anime community, especially when it comes to being a welcoming and safe place for women and femme-presenting people. If you disagree with my take, I ask that you please be constructive and respectful about it in the comments. Just needed to put that out there real quick because I took way too much heat and that was really unnecessary, you guys. So, long story short, am I gonna watch the next season? Absolutely not. I hope that it gets better for y'all, like I truly do, but for me, I'm out. 5 out of 10. I have not loved a romance anime this much in a long time. As soon as I saw a teaser a few months ago, I was hooked, but also devastated that I had to wait, so I ended up reading the manga in the meantime and fell in love, and the anime did it so good. This automatically became my favorite anime of the season, and it held on to that spot for the entire season. A Sign of Affection just makes you feel warm and fuzzy. She gives you serotonin, she gives you life, she gives you hope for the future, and for a nihilistic bitch like me, that's saying a lot. But the most powerful thing that it does is provide representation. Yuki is deaf, and A Sign of Affection gives us a glimpse into her life and experience having a disability in Japan. For those of y'all who don't know, Japan is a little behind the times in terms of accessibility and education for disability awareness. There is a wonderful manga called With the Light, which came out in 2000. It depicts a young family whose son is autistic. The mother has to deal with friends, family, and even her own husband who berate her because they all still believe that autism is simply a result of bad parenting. Now, this is not, and I repeat, not, a blanket statement on how Japan deals with disability. But between that media and other interviews I've seen, Japan definitely has some serious work to do. We see this in Yuki's family when we learn that her family literally never learned sign language for their deaf child. Side note though, I have been told that this is sadly a reality worldwide, but it still breaks my heart nonetheless. Watching Yuki, who believed her experiences would be limited due to her disability, fall in love with someone who truly cares for her is so heartwarming. Throughout the series, we get to watch her come out of her shell, and it is just the most wholesome thing ever. I did have to take a little bit off the score because I hate Oshi as a character, and like the manga, he is given too much screen time. And for those of y'all trying to defend him, 1, he had his chance to date Yuki. Over a decade of chances, but he never told her, so he has no right to her. 2, he spends 90% of the time he is interacting with her, making her feel bad, which she has expressed multiple times throughout the series. 3, he is super ableist in wanting to have her for himself as a way to protect her from the outside world. Like, sir, please sit all the way the down and stop being a crybaby. You are terrible. But besides him, this is one of my favorite romance anime ever, and I cannot wait for the second season. 9 out of 10. I was not expecting to like this puppy as much as I did, but this wholesome little slice of lifer hit all of the points that make me love the genre, except with a twist. Following you guessed it, Villain, as he showcases what he does on his day off. Despite spending his workdays fighting tirelessly against the Power Rangers-like organization in hopes to eradicate humanity, his days off are very different. So alarmingly so that when the off-duty Rangers try to fight him while he's off the clock, he immediately shuts it down with, "I am off the clock." It's giving work boundaries. It's giving Nanami. It's giving everything. And what does our overly intense villain like to do on his day off? Go to the zoo and revel in the presence of pandas, of course. Mr. Villain's day off gives big way of the house husband energy in just how intensely their main characters approach the everyday activities. That's what makes me love him even more. He's just so intense, over the top, and unserious. Like, I love it. This was my wind-down anime of the season when I just needed a break from other things and just needed to watch that sweet serotonin unseriousness. I honestly was not expecting to like this puppy as much as I did, and yet it ended up being one of my favorites of the season. I love the first season, and I cannot wait to see what the next season happens. 8 out of 10. And now, to the anime that I only picked up so that I could have a bad harem for the season. I added Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable to the roster because, these reviews are no fun if I only watch good anime. We need some trash anime to even out the playing field, and what's trashier than a harem? So that's how I went into this anime. And yeah, there's some very, very trashy standard harem scenes that make you pray that your family or roommates don't walk in on you, but there was also another element that just surprised the hell out of me. Hokkaido Gals was actually good. Yes, I know I was just as surprised, but the overall story focuses so much more on the interpersonal relationships between the characters, especially the women learning how to better support each other. Yes, there is a few romance plot lines because it's a harem, but it was so much more about the friendships. I'm gonna talk about the ending here, so spoilers warning. Skip to here if you want to avoid spoilers. I was really happy that in the end, Fuyuki decided to go study abroad and explore a program that she was actually passionate about. It was so refreshing to see a romance anime where the love interest actually pursues their dream instead of giving it up in a massive love declaration. I love how she decides to push herself and is inspired to by seeing how passionate he and other people in her life were about their futures. This anime was still far from perfect though and had a couple of very questionable scenes, including the mom of the main love interest hitting on the main character, so that was a thing. But y'all, the aspect that absolutely killed me was when I turned on the dub one day to see that one, the main character is voiced by Matt Shipman, aka Reki from Skate the Infinity, but two, since it's based in a Hokkaido, they got voice actors who either had northern accents or wore them for the role. This meant that the English dub is literally a northern Midwest harem. They all had Minnesotan and Canadian accents, and I was laughing so goddamn hard. Just listen to this.
So, Subasa, do you have a girlfriend back home in Tokyo?
Girl!
Wow, overreact much, buddy?
How about my Minami? She's cute, eh?
Mom, quit it! You are seriously embarrassing me here!
I have never seen a Midwest harem, and I think it's one of the best things I've ever seen in anime. Plus, this puppy had one of the best intro songs of the season that was totally slept on. As for future seasons, I might dip in and out. This was good, but it's still a harem, which isn't really my thing. But I did actually have a really good time with this first season. So we're giving her a 7 out of 10. So I was really looking forward to this anime, and it ended up being the worst anime I watched this season. There's just something off about Cherry Magic, from the concept of hearing the love interest thoughts and, that just kind of being a massive gray area of consent there, to the animation was not good, to the truly horrific Fujoshi character whose only purpose in the show is to ship and objectify the couple. I don't know, this anime just left a bad taste in my mouth. Only reason it's not rated lower is because the characters are actually able to talk things out and learn how to take accountability and be respectful of each other. But I need to vent for a minute because that Fujoshi character is literally the epitome of why people look down on BL as a whole. So it's not inherently straight women's fault for falling for BL and shipping the characters together. Because, BL is a genre predominantly written by women and marketed to women, but that's a whole massive video essay on the problematic hellscape that is that whole issue. But we see the results of shipping BL characters through Cherry Magic's Fujoshi. She is so obsessed with the genre that her love has spilled over the fictional border and into her real life, resulting in her shipping and objectifying her real life coworkers. This is the dangerous element of the BL community that causes the most harm, and Cherry Magic glorified her and put her on a goddamn pedestal. As someone who also enjoys BL but is also queer, navigating these spaces is a minefield, and characters like her make me ashamed to even consume the genre. Gonna wrap this up by saying, please keep your shipping to fictional characters and don't objectify people around you like a weirdo. But rant aside, yeah, this anime was the definition of mid, and it was hella awkward. Plus, you can really tell that they got laughed out of the room when they were asked for a proper animation budget. Thank God there's not going to be a second season. 5 out of 10. Featuring some absolutely aesthetically spectacular and impressive world building, Metallic Rouge came to play. The sheer amount of world building, lore, and backstory is truly astounding. This anime has a lot going for it in terms of the sheer amount of detail and thought that went into it. That being said, 13 episodes, that was a mistake. This could have been easily split over 2 cores and, 24 episodes at minimum, and that would have really given the moments time to land and just really be fleshed out, instead of just cramming everything, and I mean everything, into 13 episodes. I was literally starting to dissociate because so much was being thrown at me. And I don't think that it's just because I was tired and binging a lot of anime. Because, when an anime is good and engaging, it doesn't matter how long you've been watching it. It will hold your attention with loving care. Metallic Rouge just kind of beat you over the head with a sledgehammer. And it really is a shame, because if this had just been stretched out just a little bit more, this anime could have been incredible. The more that I think about this anime, the more I am disappointed at its wasted potential. The literal ending scene could have been an entire episode. But yeah, guess they just wanted to get it done as fast as possible, and we are not watching a second season, but I honestly doubt if they have enough material for a second season. But yeah, this is a train wreck, 4 out of 10. As soon as I heard that Bucchigiri was by the same team that did Skate the Infinity, you know that I was sold. And like Skate, this anime is absolutely ridiculous. Working with some really unique and intricate world building in terms of anime, Bucchigiri's world is very influenced by different Middle Eastern, Chinese, and Indian cultures. We follow our love-struck main character Arajin, who somehow teams up with a powerful deity named Senya, who gives him superhuman strength. This helps him make a name for himself at his new high school, whose social hierarchy is determined via fight club between opposing gangs. In order to utilize Senya's powers, Arajin must declare his deepest wish. Is it power? Strength? No. He just wants to lose his virginity. Except the girl that he's in love with has one of the most severe cases of brother complexes I've ever seen in anime. The sheer ridiculousness of this show is just so campy and wonderful. It's just an absolute shit show, and I was 100% here for it. I adore chaotic, absurdist anime, and this just scratched that itch. This is a very dumb and unserious show. So if that's your genre, you're gonna love this. If not, this is 100% gonna come across as cheesy and cringe. One of my favorite aspects is that Arajin's mother is literally Mako from Kill la Kill, except grown up. Full of energy, wildly inappropriate, and just a lot of, wow, okay then. I'm not sure if Bucchigiri is going to get another season since everything's wrapped up pretty nicely, but if they do, I will definitely be watching. 7.5 out of 10. It's everybody's favorite Swole Himbo, back and better than ever for season 2. Continuing on with the absolutely batshit shenanigans we've all grown to love. My biggest problem with season 1 is that the amazing jokes it started with just became super stale by the end, and honestly the stakes ended up not really being a thing. But season 2 heard my complaints, I guess, and went bet. I really feel like Mashle fully hit its stride this season, and I was so impressed with the outcome. The stakes were really there, but the show never forgot about being a meta fourth wall parody of itself. So those two aspects ended up balancing each other out really nicely. As with the first season, I loved catching all the Harry Potter references sprinkled throughout. But more than that, I absolutely loved just how extra and campy all the new characters were. Especially Margaret Macaron, who is my new favorite ball of androgynous chaos, who could, let's just be honest, give Doctor Strange a run for his money in terms of, all the music fighting. I was really happy with how they decided to resolve things this season, while also making sure that future seasons will still have plenty to do. Overall, this season was a much needed improvement to the show. I was honestly really worried that the show was just gonna be just a parody joke of itself, which is great, but overall, doesn't have a whole lot of substance to sustain itself. So I'm honestly happy that this show and this season just fixed all of that and did the thing. And yeah, I'm really happy I got to spend more time with Mashle, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. 8 out of 10. To finish things off, we have my other favorite show of the fall seasons, Apothecary Diaries. This show, you guys, this show is amazing. Incredible storytelling, character development that checks you and makes you confront your own biases, amazing SW and neurodivergent representation, and just the cutest dumb little chibi faces. Apothecaries will make you cry, but then tend to your wounds. It's just such an amazing show. So I sat down to watch the first episode because I kept being bugged about starting it, and I ended up watching the first 12 without being able to physically stop myself. Mao Mao is my new favorite neurodivergent coded adorable ball of chaos. And Jinshi is your standard androgynous beauty boy who, twist, is absolutely horrified that Mao Mao isn't gushing over him like everyone else. So, he makes it his mission to make her fall for him, and the results are just hilarious. Apothecary Diaries has some of the best chibi and dumb faces I have ever seen, which go down in the Chibi Hall of Fame alongside Komi Can't Communicate and Kimi no Toroke. But besides those aspects, this anime is just so good and will have you absolutely obsessed start to finish. I am so excited to rewatch this one down the line before the second season, especially since the second core has storylines that I didn't put together right away, but in hindsight, all perfectly mesh together. I cannot wait to see it all as a whole. Apothecary Diaries is also one of the most aesthetically gorgeous anime I have ever seen, with character design that had me absolutely breathless. I could gush about this anime for days, but I'm gonna show restraint today, so just watch it, okay? I cannot wait for the second season, and hopefully they don't make us wait too long. 9 out of 10. Welcome to the official NekoDecoPop Awards, where everyone's a winner, but the awards might just not be. Starting out, we have the award for Best Anime Opening goes to the award for Best Anime Outro goes to the award for Best New Series goes to A Sign of Affection. The award for Best Continuing Series goes to Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. The award for Best Overall Style goes to Bucchigiri. The award for Best Character goes to Mashle, who also wins the Best Himbo Award. The award for Worst Character goes to Fujoshi from Cherry Magic for objectifying the real-life gay people in her life. The award for Character we owe the biggest apology goes to Lacan from the Apothecary. So all together now, I'm sorry. The award for Biggest Letdown goes to Solo Leveling. It's just, yeah. The award for Biggest I can't believe I actually like this anime goes to Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable. The award for Best Work-Life Balance goes to Villain from Mr. Villain's Day Off. And the award for Most Wasted Potential goes to Metallic Rouge. Congratulations to all of our winners, and we will see all of you at next season's awards. To wrap things up, how did I feel about this season? Overall, I do think it was incredibly strong and a great way to kick off the new year. 2024 is absolutely packed to the gills with releases, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this season shapes up in comparison to the rest. I'm still going through Frieren and A Sign of Affection withdrawal, so that's gonna, take me out for a hot minute. But I did just start watching Tadaima Okaidi, and oh my god, you guys, I'm already calling it. It's gonna be my favorite anime of the spring season. It is my absolute comfort manga, and they turned it into a BL anime, and it is the first Omega First anime ever, and it's amazing, and you should watch it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun putting this video together, especially the awards ceremony, and that was my first time doing it. I hope you guys liked it. If you like what you see and want to, hang along for all the fresh chaos I have in store for us, please subscribe and leave your most unhinged take in the comments below. Please like and share this video to someone, especially if they have opposing anime views, just to piss them off. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, and I'll see all of y'all on the next one.